the content of Quran. Okay. Is there anyone who is part of the Islam? Okay, Islam religion? Okay. So well, it will maybe help me. Okay. Okay. So jihad is their counterpart, not exactly counterpart of the Ten Commandments of the Christianity. Rather, it is more on Ten Commandments is more specific. Okay? Jihad is versatile. Your versatile connection with God. So that's jihad. Although it is misinterpreted by Boko Haram, wherein they interpret this as struggle, okay? Struggle or striving. Okay? The more they harm others, the more they are closer to God. That's their interpretation. And Boko Haram lived more than decades. Okay? Their first leader was Muhammad Yusuf. Muhammad Yusuf, although he died already in 2009, it is still continued by his lieutenant. Okay? So that's just a quick background para hindi kayo ma-bored sa video. Kasi alam ko naman, bored manood ng video. Okay? So is that clear? Yes. What is Boko Haram? Okay. They are Islamist extremist group, okay, or jihadist. Okay. What is jihad? Comparable to our, but it's not exactly as Ten Commandments. Okay. Ten Commandments is more specific. Jihad is versatile. What do you mean by versatile? Okay. It can be done in other ways. Okay. At least you connect to that. Or to Allah. Okay. Do you get that? Is it not clear? Okay. So let's watch the video.
This is what Boko Haram told me. If you really want to go to paradise, this is saying, this is an easy thing to do.
It goes against everything in the society that we live in. Children as young as 5 are strapped with explosives and sent into mosques, sent into markets and into homes. Some are actually sent back into their own homes. And the idea is to really strike out in any way that they can just to continue this carnage, this horror.
They didn't even have guns. And at first, I had no idea they were Boko Haram fighters.
These young men were inspired by the ideology and the rhetoric of Boko Haram. We haven't seen a single female suicide bomber that has offered herself up for a suicide mission.
They give you a choice. Marry a fighter or go on a mission. I told them I don't want to marry because I'm still too young. The older girls tell us they don't care how old you are. If you marry one of them, they'll root you for private affairs day and night.
It's an incentive for the young men to remain in the group if they can get the wives, so they form these family units within the movement. And a lot of the girls who reject the offer of marriage are sent on missions. They were brainwashing them and telling them, you're doing this for Allah and you're going to go straight to heaven and all this stuff. They were also being told that if you don't do it, we're going to kill you.
I just like the normal Quran and Hadith teaching. I find their teachings hard to follow. But even though I don't understand properly, I don't think that killing someone could ever be a lawful act.
A lot of people have not had much education of any kind, whether it's Western or Islamic. Learning about the Quran doesn't mean that you're learning about Islam, because it's teaching on the Quran in isolation of everything else, and the rest of the teaching is ideology.
When your time comes, they tell you to look for a place filled with non-believers, like a church or a crowded marketplace. And when you detonate your bomb, they say you will enter paradise. On my way into town, I decided to ask the first people I met to untie the vest. But the first people I met were also members of Boko Haram. I spent a month with another group of fighters in a different camp, and just as before, I refused to marry. They tied their own bomb on me and sent me right back out. This time I ran. If I was caught again, I felt that I would surely be killed. I ran and ran. And when I stopped, I found myself on a farm. I asked the farmers to help me take out the vest and to throw it back into the forest. But they were afraid of me.
There's nobody in the Northeast that has not had some experience with Boko Haram, whether directly or indirectly. Almost nobody. Most people have lost somebody as a result of Boko Haram. I think they look at the act rather than the girl, and they think, well, this is a young person who is willing to eliminate our whole community. How can we then take her back? These are kids, first of all, and these are victims. So you've taken against your will. You've lived with these people in horrendous conditions, away from your parents, guardians, everybody you know. Then you're strapped with explosives. You come back to the community, and by the grace of God, it doesn't go off. And now the community rejects you. It's very, very sad.
So you see how sad war affects children. Not only the adults but as well as the children. So in comparison with our peer activity, so we ask you what activities or what games have you played outside? Some of the children, or should be all of the children, play outside. They should be able, they should be allowed to play outside. But in these cases, instead of having the freedom to go outside, they are often scared to go outside because they are used, if they don't want to be a wife or to be a fighter, they will be sacrificed. Sacrificed to among those who are non-believers. And that is what they interpret about jihad. When you die, you will go directly to God. Bombing those non-believers because they don't agree with you. So that's one thing. In connection with that, we have our home in another world. Proceed to page 13 for our lesson. I want you to read the essential question first for you to be able to answer at the end of our lesson. Okay, answer it by yourself. Can you please read the essential question on top? How does the literary text 1, 2, 3 go?
How does the literary text from different genres and cultures enhance our understanding and appreciation of diverse national literature?
So, take note of that. I want you to be able to answer that after our lesson. Bring up your notebook. So, here is our first stanza. I want you to read in unison. 1, 2, 3, go.
In another world, I want to be a father without passing through the eternal insanity of mourning my children.
So, the first line, the first clause, the first phrase already tells about the imagination. How this person wants to be in another place, in a better place. Okay? I want to be a father without passing through the eternal insanity of mourning my children. Isn't it normal that parents, okay, that children should be the one who bury their parents? Okay, sorry for the content, but that's normal, right? Tayo mga anak dapat yung nagsisend sa parents natin sa huli nilang hantungan. Here, it is already normal, normalized that parents take their children in their last phases of life. And it's very sad. Moving to the second stanza, please read 1, 2, 3, go.
I was experiencing the ritual of watching my children return home as bodies folded like a cradle.
Diba? Before, when we go play games, okay, outside our homes, it's normal that our parents expect us to go home. But in their case, there are no more children that comes back. Okay? Either they are there, left with Boko Haram, or they are dead. They are already bodied, folded like a prayer mat. So we have known that our author, Resak, or Resik Malik, is Muslim. And Muslims use prayer mats to pray. Okay, you know that, right? Okay. So still, even those bodies are lifeless, they are still considered as sacred. Because the metaphorical way, okay, of comparing it to a prayer mat. Of course, they use it as their prayer tool, so it is still sacred. Okay. Comparison to the children who returns like a prayer mat, okay, folded prayer mat, they are still sacred but lifeless already. Do you get it? Is it clear? Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay. Can you read it with me? 1, 2, 3, go.
Without spending my nights telling them the stories of a hometown where natives become aliens searching for a shelter.
It's very sad that a local, okay, a native, is a stranger to his or her hometown. Their homes became a place where they become strangers. Without spending my nights telling them the stories of a hometown where natives become aliens searching for a shelter. Okay. Instead of being comfortable in your hometown, you are afraid to be in your hometown because of the effects of war. That's what this actually means. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. For the next theme, I would like you to share your perspective. Okay, let's read. 1, 2, 3, go.
I want my children to spread a mat outside my house and play without the walls of houses ripped by rifles.
Anyone? What's your understanding on this phrase? There's no harm in trying. Sige, guys. There's no harm in trying. So in the imagined world, he wants to see his children live like a normal life of the children. Okay? How does children should live? Okay? Free. And not scared of the walls around. Okay? Imagine that wall. That wall in their face does not look the same. Because it is either shot by rifles, bombed, and destroyed by the effects of wars. So basically, he wants his children to enjoy the surroundings without the scenery of war. I want to watch my children grow to recite the name of their homeland, like the Lord's Prayer, to frolic in the streets without being hunted like animals in the bush, without being mocked to death. Okay? So here you can see the author wants to let his children honor their country. Of course, when you say the Lord's Prayer, first, it is similar to honoring an important prayer. In this case, the author wants his children to be proud of Nigeria. In another world, the author wants the children to recite the honors of Nigeria, like how the Lord's Prayer should be recited. So that's basically it. Okay. What do you mean by frolic? Anyone know? Okay, frolic. Roam around freely. Okay. So that's what it means. Roam around freely. So to frolic in the streets without being hunted like animals in the bush. So we can see here that Africa, or the name specifically Nigeria, had become a hunting ground for Boko Haram. So instead of a place, a white playground, it became a hunting ground. And people or children became the animals, which is being hunted in this place. Okay? And without being mocked to death, or being killed by a group. That's basically how it is said. Okay? Here it is more pessimistic. What do you mean by optimistic? What do you mean by optimistic? A positive view of the world. Okay? So in another world, I want my children to tame grasshoppers in the field, to play with their dolls in the living room, to inhale the fragrance of flowers waving as the wind blows, to see the birds measure the sky with their wings. Here, he is more describing the world that he wants to be in. Did we get the poem? Is it clear? What are the themes that you can see in the poem? Hope, correct. Other themes? Hope. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the poem. We have discussed it. So let us ponder about the poem. Let us see the structure of the poem. So poetry, okay, so help me answer this. What is a type of poetry that any specific, without any specific meter, rhyme scheme, or stanza length? Free verse poem. Okay. So as you can see from the structure of our poem a while ago, okay, it doesn't follow any length, rhyme scheme, or verses. Okay, it is plotted in a single way. Is that clear? What type of poem is, in another word? Okay, so let's move forward with literary devices. So what type of literary device is recurrence, okay, of sounds, syllables, words, phrases, lines, and stanzas? Repetition. That's the answer, repetition. Okay, so what is repetition? Literary device that is used in our poem. Okay, so we can see that later. I will explain it further. Allows a thought from one line break to flow into the next. Paano yan? It is enjambment. Let's take note of that. Okay na? Okay, so here, what is the repetition there? Okay. In another world, without. Okay? I want. That is your? One more time, that is your? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you learning?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. Okay? So the present world. In one word, what kind of world is the speaker living as described by the author? Explained by citing lines from the poem. Okay, can you help me decipher this? Can you help me answer this?
In a world that is prone to violence and suicide, as well as war.
So what is one word that you could explain? Okay? That could explain all those that you said. Just one word.
Violence.
Violence. Okay. Okay, so we can see from the effects of violence, okay, that the author had think about writing the poem. So any other? You can try, guys. Bulungin na lang tayo.
Tapos ka na?
Paglasingin naman sila. Bakit ginadjudge niyo ba yung mga klase niyo? Don't be shy, guys. It's okay. Okay, so let's okay. So we can see those lines. So without passing through the internal insanity of mourning my children, a miserable life that is depicted in this line. Without experiencing the ritual of watching my children return home as bodies folded lined up, prayer mat. A horrifying way to describe life through a chaotic creation of the Boko Haram. So, without spending my nights telling them the stories of a hometown where natives become aliens searching for a shelter. Okay? Suffering from the effects of the war that makes their hometown much more dangerous. Okay? Hindi na siya risky na lumabas. it's already dangerous because of the effect of who? So what social issues, concerns are depicted in the poem? What sensory images are used by the poet to convey these site-specific examples? Tama, kuya, kanina. Terrorism and war, violence against children, kidnapping or abduction. Sense of sight, my children return home. Okay, so this is imagery. This is appeals to your senses when you are writing for you to imagine that you are within the content of the poem. When children return home, this one is folded like a prayer mat. Okay, the comparison I told you a while ago, what type of literary device is this? Guys, literary device, metaphor, hyperbole, personification, repetition. I mentioned it a while ago. Simile. Okay. Why simile? Because of the word like. Okay. So, without being hunted like animals in the bush, without being mobbed to death. Can you imagine the scenery of this piece? Guys, try to imagine. Okay? Do you imagine it? Is it clear in your senses? Okay, sit properly, guys. Sit properly. Okay. So, in one phrase or one sentence, what kind of world is the speaker envisioning? Is this attainable? Why? How? Can you help me answer this, guys, please? Answers? Okay. What is the author imagining? Is this doable? Is this achievable? Okay. What? Oo nga. Anong yes? How? How? Okay, if you don't want to answer, ask me. Do you have any questions?
Sir, last question na daw kayo.
So do you think, okay, okay, just agree with me. Do you think the speaker envisions a life with freedom? Does he?
Yes.
In what way? Okay, playing outside. Basically, the title itself. Envisioning another world. Okay. Next, where there is no pain and grief. Okay. So filled with happiness and prosperity. Is this achievable? How about that is peaceful? No? Still no. So, can you please read 1, 2, 3, go?
It is right than anyone else's issues. It is just normal for an individual to dream of a different world where peace, happiness, and prosperity thrive. Where we live now is not so much contributing to the wellness of the people. Hence, everyone, especially the leaders of the land, should advise responsibilities for where we build a world that is safe and enjoyable for people to live in.
Guys, you are a passive meeting. Do not have a fast pace, okay? You are not reading for yourself. In this world, laden, what does laden mean? Laden? Your phones. You don't have Mariah? Guys, when I am Astasia, meanings of the word phones. But dictionary only. So it is often the burden with men, okay? Carrying, kasi meron na yung burden na problem dyan. Ang redundant naman na pag-burden. World laden with many problems and issues. This but just normal for an individual to dream of a different world where peace, happiness, and prosperity thrive. Of course, when you are already experiencing a world that is very chaotic, what does chaotic mean? Chaotic. You want to dream a better world, a better version of what you have envisioned in your childhood. If you are experiencing that worst already experienced, you want your other generation to experience a better one. Is that clear? Yes, po? Because of course, as we can see, he doesn't live comfortably based on the story or in the poem. So that is his perspective. Okay, are you ready, guys? For what? Bring out your module. Proceed to written work 3. Create a detailed chart to analyze the two worlds in the poem. Label the left column the present world and the right column the other world. For each world, compile a list of the dominant emotions and key sensory details evoked by the poem's language. Use the template below and interpret in Appendix B. So, have your modules, guys. Sino man ang module? Magkakatabi po. Maganda ko ng katabi mo yung module. Tulad din sa one module.